Yo, still bills, what's the deal, man? I ain't got to politic with y'all here for a minute, man. I've been, I don't know, man. I just got back in town from a family reunion down in Little Rock, Arkansas, man. I'm fucking, oh shit. I had a ball, man. I had a ball. It was a legitimate good time, man. I had so much fun, man. But you know, I ain't getting no me time to myself down there, so I couldn't come up here and chop it up with y'all, man. So let's get into it, man. That's the peak game, man. We got to talk about, man, motherfucking the situation as it pertains to Dante and Shakur Stevenson, man. Like I said, man, I have my criticisms with the LDBC. I genuinely do, man. They do, you know, it's a lot of deception, but it's a lot of truth in it as well. And in this situation, once again, it's deception. You know, well, it's the truth layered over deception. I agree 150% on everything he said as it pertains to Paulie Malignaggi. I definitely do, because I'm just, you know, Paulie Malignaggi was a dude who had my, you know, he had the utmost respect for me. I thought he was an incredible analysis. You know, he's a former world champion, so he's speaking from firsthand experience, man. I think he was one of the dudes who was really able to articulate what he's seeing in a timely manner as it's unfolding. He can give you a vivid picture of the fight if you was listening to it on the radio or something like that. Like how they used to do back in the 40s and the 50s or the 30s and shit like that. Long time ago, before TV was a thing, you know, it was still perceived as a thing of luxury. I thought he was one of the dopest dudes to really break down the fight, man. I really was a fan and a supporter of his as far as him sitting at that table unpacking the fight and calling the fight, man. But, you know, after that bullshit, you know, now, I don't condone what Devin Haney said, you know, that I'll never let a white boy beat the shit, because I still don't think he's beating Vasily Lomachenko. But, you know, it's a little... I'm not even gonna go. Yeah, when it comes to sports, we always gonna have that arrogance to us. When it comes to dance, when it comes to rap, we just always gonna have that type of arrogance to us, because those are just fields that we particularly dominate in. But that doesn't necessarily mean we can't meet our match. One of the dopest dancers I've ever met in my life is my crewmate. You dig? A few of them. You dig? So it's a little bit more understandable. Even though it does come off as real inflammatory, it is understandable, man. But that don't mean you can't meet your match. Because like I said, I still think Vasily Lomachenko is the baddest man in the division. But that bullshit he's talking, oh man, the black American boxer, that day is over with. The rise of these Eastern Europeans, they're on the rise. Which you can't deny they on the rise. You can't deny what we seeing with Bivol. You can't deny what we seeing with Beterbiev. You can't deny what we saw with Golovkin. He's Asiatic. I can't necessarily count him, but you can't deny what we saw with Sergey Kovalev, Lomachenko, fucking Usyk, the rise of the Australian scenes. So you can't deny that neither. You can't deny that these dudes just on the tear. So, but I don't think they're gonna be as plentiful in the now as, you know, a black American boxer. I honestly don't. So. It was truth to what it is that he was saying, but it was a lot. Once again, you gotta. It's truth layered with deception. I don't think those countries are gonna be able to produce more boxers than us, or in Cuba, or the Dominican Republic, or Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? Places like that, Colombia, even Black Brits. So. That shit really rubbed me the wrong way, man. Like, you got me fucked up that our time is over. Like, we ain't got a multitude of world champions in the now. You dig? Devin Haney is the fucking youngest undisputed world champion right now. We got Shakur Stevenson. We waiting on this undisputed title match with Bud and Spence. Jermell Charlo is undisputed. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like, we've had 3 undisputed world champions in the past 4 or 5 years. Eat a dick. You dig me? And it's about to be 5 when we go. It's about to be... Bud, Jermell, Devin Haney, and it'd be either Bud again or Spence for the first time. So we've had a multitude of black champions, man, more so than Eastern European champions. So don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit, man. But what really bothered me about what it is that he said, I don't like how you can't sing. You can be for your people and still sing the praises of another fighter. And a lot of the points that he was trying to hit on, to drive home was just real childish and not really well thought out. Oh man, you older than him. You're not supposed to be saying I'm a fan of him. He's supposed to be saying that to you. Why? Like why? Like what? That's the arrogance as it pertains to old heads. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to sing the praises of the youth. You dig? Eventually, you got to pass the torch. Eventually, you got to say, yo, man, we got to get back. We got to take our step back. We had our time. It's these youngins' time now. If this plan plays out like motherfuckers are expecting it to, Shakur Stevenson is gonna be that dude. He gotta step back and let Bam take over the show because he's the older dude. He's the older of the two. So what is so wrong with him with singing the praises of a dude who's younger than him? I think that was real goofy. That was, and there's a lot of other points that he hit on, with the Devin Haney's, and he found a way to crowbar Devin Haney into the situation. And why couldn't you put up your spawn, or what did he say, you put up your fight with Jamel Herring, but you ain't put up your fight with Oscar Val, like just little goofy shit like that. And I get the point that he's trying to hit on, man, but it once again circles back to, this is why consciousness gets laughed at, because it's like y'all niggas just don't know how to just stop dragging shit, you know what I'm saying? Even though I get what it, the message you was trying to put out there, I get it. I genuinely get it. I genuinely get it. But that don't mean you got to be so standoffish with any and everybody else. You dig? I'm not a fan of the LDBC, but I went and I looked up Drew Titan's video on Usyk, and I didn't watch the whole thing, but to my knowledge, it seemed like he was somewhat singing his praises for him. Like, yo, that shit is commendable that you stood 10 toes down. And even what you said, I was just praying not to get killed. Any man can identify with that. You dig? Tomorrow ain't promised. So we trying to have a good one as long as we can. So anybody can identify with that, man. And I'm like, yo, man, that shit is commendable that he would do that. It's commendable that he would do that. And the thing is this, man, another thing that he tried to say, oh man, like, let's see if you feel that same way when ESPN passes your spot up, passes something along the lines of, we'll see if you still got that same energy when they put Bam Rodriguez over you in the pound for pound rankings. Oh, Devin Haney got dropped out of the pound for pound rankings, but they still got Canelo and they still got Vasily Lomachenko on there and yada yada yada. I get that, bro. I get that. I don't see how anybody wouldn't have a pound-for-pound list with Canelo Alvarez on it because he's still an undisputed world champion. But Lomachenko, I definitely see an issue with that. Definitely. I don't see how anybody can't see an issue with that. But I just think it's like, yo, bro, you reaching for something that ain't there. You're reaching for something that isn't there. And even in the you were still slighting Bam Rodriguez's win by clapping at Sorung Visai. As much shit as you clapped at Sorung Visai, like his deficiencies in his game, he beat Chocolatito twice. And Choco is one of the baddest boxers still active right now. You dig what I'm saying? So let's not do that, man. I thought that was real. I thought that was real disingenuous for you to do that shit, man. You can't be mad at him because those boxers he digs their style, but he digs how they put it together. Just like shit. Him and Boots was they tweet each other talking about working together in the gym. I can understand you being a little aggy about what he said about Tyson Fury as it pertains to Ali. I get that. I definitely get that. I get that. But that's that man's opinion. It's his opinion. And I don't think he's cooning. I honestly don't. I honestly don't. I don't see no dude who's just so over, you know, just infatuated with some other, you know, with outsiders' approval. That's not what I see from that's not what I'm getting from him. He has a beautiful black wife. I think he's that, you know, he dabbled in the, you know, in the non-black pool. And look at, I mean, shit, if I'm not mistaken, him and his Mexican lady broke up because her parents disapproved of it. And he crashed her brother. You dig? But I think when it comes to cats like me and you, my wife is Latina, a mestizo. I think when it comes to cats like me and you, we gotta be very mindful of, you know, of who we call a coon and who we send shots at in that type of manner, because the actions that we took between me and you aren't necessarily conducive to black empowerment. You dig what I'm saying? You went to Thailand. I don't know if you're still over there or what, but how many Thai chicks you got under your belt? You dig? I ain't seen no dark skinned Thai chicks. You know, you got modeling and shouting out your channel. I haven't seen that. And I know there's plenty of darker complected women over there in Thailand. Thailand isn't no favorite part of Asia like China and Japan and Korea. No, they got darker skinned people over there. I ain't seen I've seen all fair skinned women over there modeling on your, you know, to shout out your channel. So with brothers like me and you, we gotta be real mindful and strategic, and before we get to calling somebody coons or making innuendos at them being coons, because our behavior is perceived as coonish to certain, to a lot of people who harbor the same sentiments and ideologies that we harbor. So you can't, I don't want you getting off into that. That man has a beautiful black lady, fiance that he proposed to after this fight. He's just a fan of somebody's boxing skill. I'm not mad at that. I'm not seeing a dude who has an affinity to seeking outside approval. That's not what I see when I look at Shakur Stevenson. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all sit there, y'all big up all of these black fighters who aren't doing half of the shit that Bam Rodriguez is doing. This is why you gotta know how to call shit down the middle, even with you walking in consciousness. You still have to exist in a certain realm of reality, man. And what you were doing, and it's kind of like you're attacking him. You're really on the attack now. That shit ain't cool. That shit ain't cool. He's a fan of Tyson Fury. He's a fan of Bam Rodriguez. I'm not mad at that because they're two incredible boxers. Do I think Tyson Fury is a bit overrated in the now? Yes, only because of them saying, not from a skill set standpoint, but just with because he knocked out Dillian White. Now all of a sudden he's the greatest. He may be arguably the greatest heavyweight ever, even though Dillian White had been knocked out twice by the same punch 2 times before you got to him. You know what I'm saying? But he is still an incredible fighter. And he is a fighter who I personally think can fight in any era. But I think when it comes to clapping at Shakur Stevenson, you really got to be mindful of what it is that you're doing. Because the shit that you're saying to him, you're practically calling this man a coon. And I'm very much so uncomfortable with that, because I just think that, that's a very disingenuous remark. Because he hasn't shown coonish behavior. Because he's applauding somebody, a Mexican and a Brit, in a Brit. He's applauding their skill set. There's nothing coonish about that. There's nothing coonish about that. Y'all want to try to conflate issues, and in certain situations, they do need to be conflated. But in this situation in the now, because you got to think about how that hurts his brand. When y'all have a platform and you got like 300K worth of subscribers, it's a lot of money. Half of the niggas who are subscribed to you don't have the ability to think for themselves. So they're gonna spew all of the bullshit that you're spewing. They're gonna use your talking points. When it's time to hit on a punchline, they're gonna reference what it is that you said in your videos, and they're gonna run with it. that can tarnish his brand. That can definitely play a role in tarnishing his brand. That's unfair. So, man, I ain't watching that coon ass nigga. How's he a coon? Oh, man, he talking about Tyson Fury or beat Muhammad Ali. Or you talking about he like Ben Rodriguez. I ain't heard him say nothing about Stephen. You know, they'll go off on tangents, and you can tell them. You can always tell the motherfuckers who are new into this realm. You can always tell them it's easy. It's the easiest thing to do. Like, you are clueless. All right, it's time for me to turn around. Just clueless to shit. So I don't see nothing wrong with what he said. I agree 150% on you as it pertains to Paulie Malignaggi. I definitely agree on that. But what I'm not going, you know, what I'm real standoffish with is y'all turning a young brother into public enemy number one because he doesn't harbor the same ideologies as y'all. As far as who it is that y'all like, because shit. Y'all are fans of Charlo and Andre, bro. Like, them niggas ain't really doing nothing. Not even really. Them niggas ain't doing nothing. They're not doing nothing. Neither of them. They're real stagnant in their careers. Extremely stagnant. And y'all will sing their praises. Y'all will call niggas for, you know, calling niggas out for ducking them. Y'all do all that. But y'all won't say shit about them two ducking, you know, Charlo ducking Andre. Y'all won't say the shit about Charlo ducking Jermell, ducking Laura. Y'all won't do that. So this is a case of where, oh man, if it's black, it don't crack. You know what I'm saying? If it's black, then you can do no wrong in the eyes of me. You're vindicated in any and everything you do, in all your endeavors. My wife is calling me right now. So I'm gonna come back to this. Hold on.